And welcome everybody to another episode of the Philly BroCast. I am your host Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. What's up, bro?
What's up, brah? What's going on? Not much. Excited. We have NFL draft to talk about tonight. We'll get a little bit into the Sixers, obviously, and some Phil's talk. But obviously, we have a lot to go over this past weekend. Starting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night for the NFL draft. For those of you who are living under a rock, the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely killed it, in my opinion, anyway. They really set themselves up for the future here, and obviously even for this year. So we're gonna dive into it a little bit. We already have a good buddy, Bald Eagle. Which, by the way, if anybody follows us here at Philly Sports Alliance, knows the Bald Eagle is an amazing show. He's starting back up tomorrow night. So check him out on all the Philly Sports Alliance socials. So, Bald Eagle, good to see you again. Good to hear from you. Go Birds. So for Thursday night, let's start there. Let's start Thursday night.
Okay.
I think we all had, everybody always seems to have favorite players when they go into, a draft. Obviously, me and linebackers, and this year in particular, there are a few defensive backs that I was really high on. And as the draft kind of progressed, there was one name that was still there, and it was Kyle Hamilton. And I think a lot of Birds fans really was hoping for Kyle Hamilton, especially after they traded up to number 13. But the second they did that, I knew it wasn't Kyle Hamilton. Just because I know and have read so many things about the Baltimore Ravens being super high on Jordan Davis, and the Eagles obviously were high on him as well. I knew the second they traded up 2 spots, they were going for Jordan Davis, which had Kyle Hamilton not been available, I think Eagles fans would be even more over the moon over this draft.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we were texting during that time, and I was like, "Are we getting Hamilton? Are we going to get Hamilton?" And I kind of wanted him. You don't come across a lot of 6'4" safeties. Guy can cover the field very well, and that was a position of need. So
yeah,
it was kind of, I guess, disappointing. But I didn't really think of it that way. If he was already taken, we would have been ecstatic with Jordan Davis. So, right. I mean, I guess that you just made me a little bit more ecstatic about that pick. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I do what I can, But yeah, it was. Listen, and Howie even reiterated it during his press conference. I think the following day, is when it comes to between player A and player B, they're going to go trenches. They're going to go offensive line, defensive line. That is how they build their team. That is how their MO. Whatever you want to call it. That's what they do. And he even full out said that was the case. So listen, we didn't come out with any safeties or corners in this draft through 7 rounds, which is a little surprising. But I think, again, that the way that they build their team is they feel other positions, the trenches, are more important.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of teams are built. A lot of successful teams, I should say. One that I always mention a lot is the New England Patriots. They do a really good job with getting their offensive line shored up, protecting whoever they have under center. And then, they work really well with their defensive line. They obviously find great guys to play linebacker and in their secondary. I don't know how they do it all the time, but
all the time, yeah.
It's impressive. But, that's truly where the battle is won and, how successful teams are built. So I agree with Howie. Obviously, I love Howie. So it's one of those things where when he says something like that and it kind of lays it out, I don't think it's showing his cards at all, but it's also just explaining to people, listen, this is what we needed to do. That's why we did it. End of subject.
Yeah. And we had obviously talked about it quite a bit during this process and leading up to the draft. Is the fact of the matter is you have positions on the offensive and defensive side of the ball that you're going to need to replace as soon as the end of this year. You have Brandon Graham, you have Fletcher Cox, you have Lane Johnson, you have Jason Kelce, and those have always been the most important to the Eagles and has been our strengths. And what did they do? First round, they went ahead and got a D tackle to replace Cox whenever that should happen. In the second round, they got a center to replace Kelce whenever that should happen.
Cam Jurgens.
Cam Jurgens out of Nebraska. So it's not surprising. Is it sexy? No. Yeah, that would have been great if we would have gotten Hamilton and a corner or a wide receiver in the second round, whatever the sexier positions are. But that's not what we do. That's not what Howie does. But still, after that Jordan Davis pick, and I think a lot of people were still in that, man, I wanted Kyle Hamilton. Man, I wanted Kyle Hamilton. Before you could even, blink twice. Like, literally, it had to have been under 10 minutes that we were like, Jordan Davis, I like him. Man, I really wanted Hamilton. Wait a minute. Something just happened. Something's happening. A.J. motherfucking Brown.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing. That's another thing that Howie does that other guys just can't do, is manipulate picks and money and whatever he needs to do to get stuff done. He gets it done. He works it out. It's incredible. We got a proven wide receiver, one of the top 5 wideouts easily in the league. I think Pro Football Focus has him in the top 10 somewhere, maybe top 5.
He's 24.
24 years old, speedster, strong. He plays bigger than his 6'1" frame. I think he's 6'1".
He's a monster.
Yeah, he is a big force, and I'm so excited to have him on the field. And this is one of those things where I know Jalen Hurts is hit or miss on a lot of people, and he's been given another weapon to show us that he can throw the ball and not just run it.
So not only was he given another weapon, he was given his best friend.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they are best friends. When A.J. Brown got drafted,
FaceTime.
Who was right there? Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Literally right next to him when he got the phone call.
When A.J. Brown got traded to the Eagles, who's the first one to call him?
Absolutely.
Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely. And he was, A.J. Brown was talking about the story of his daughter's birthday was a little bit ago. Hurts was obviously there. And he's like, every time we get together, no matter what it is, like, doesn't matter. We're going to throw the ball around a little bit. Like, even if it's for 10 minutes, like, we will always throw the ball. So they have literally been throwing the ball around with each other for years.
Yeah.
For years. So I
no excuses.
Imagine the chemistry. And again, I know a lot of people are, a little about Hurts's accuracy, and I get all that. But when you have a wide receiver like A.J. Brown, those throws that may, go over someone else's head, A.J. Brown's the type of wide receiver who's going to go up and get that. His catch radius is beyond anybody that we have on this squad.
True.
And that's
not, he's not 10 foot.
So well, all right. I'm not saying, obviously, but what I'm saying is it's going to make Hurts look even more accurate.
Hopefully. I mean, that's the whole key. That's he's got a year essentially to all of us, and maybe even 2, because I think you could stretch him out to. He's got 2 years down.
Yeah,
so you can stretch him out another year after this one.
Yeah.
Or you can franchise him or whatever. I mean, if you really are not impressed or not totally sold on him, I guess
you have the capital to do what you can do next year.
Yeah. So
they are set up.
It's all a win-win. It's all a win-win.
Yeah, they are set up so beyond just this year for whatever scenario comes to the Eagles. I think they are leaps and bounds. Above the Cowboys, I almost said the other one, Commanders, and the Giants. Although the Giants I'll give them credit. They did have a really good draft.
Just right off the bat, their first round was fantastic.
Oh yeah, and if they ever figure out the whole Daniel Jones thing and actually get a real quarterback in there, they could be something else. But I'm not worried about that right now. But
he's on the same kind of deal that Jalen Hurts is on. You got 1 year to prove it, brother.
Yeah, he kind of is. So, yeah, I thought after the first round, again, we started with 3. We technically only ended up with 1, but we got 2 stud dudes. Look, I mean, think about our rotation on the defensive line with Jordan Davis. You have Cox and Hargrave. You have Jordan Davis and Milton Williams. Those are your D tackles. Like,
monsters.
What?
Monsters.
Okay. On the defensive end, you have Brandon Graham, Sweat, Arnett, Taron Jackson. These are 8 dudes that are just going to continuously rotate and keep fresh and keep everybody fresh and having, not only that, but as an offensive lineman, you prepare for who you're going up against. You're now having to prepare against twice the amount of people, essentially, because you don't know exactly who's going to be in there.
Well, I mean, that's good to keep Jordan Davis fresh because guy doesn't play very much. And when he does, he's more of a run stopper than a quarterback.
Sure. But again, he's 20-something years old. He's got plenty of time.
Listen, I agree with you completely. I just really have that issue of I hope that this, off season and going into the year, he can get conditioned and trained up and, coached well, in which he is a big boy. I mean, fast. You run a 4.78 in a 40 over 325 pounds. That's like a moving refrigerator.
How tall is he? Like 6'7",
6'6"? I think I have it here somewhere. 6'6", 340 pounds.
340, and he's running a 4.78.
Sub 4.8.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
I would be lucky to run I'd be lucky to run a sub 6.
But that's my whole point, is that you got like one of those runs out of him. We didn't see the after, where he was probably getting oxygen on the side after he ran that.
Maybe.
Or maybe even eating a Big Mac after it, just like, all that energy. Yeah. So, I mean, I hope that, he can get that conditioning and, really get after the quarterback, because that's one of the things we were looking for.
And he's going to learn from two great defensive tackles in Cox and Hargrave. That's the beauty of all these picks, is that we've added depth, but we've also added, somebody behind a veteran who can come right in and teach them the ropes. Eric checks in. Hey guys, great show. Beyond excited after the draft. Yeah, Eric, we are too, man.
Yes.
I thought they killed it. I thought they absolutely hit it out of the park, personally. So we move into the second round, and it comes time to the Eagles pick. And who do you think I'm screaming for?
Maybe a linebacker.
Yeah, I was screaming for Nakobe Dean.
But little did you know.
Little did I know
that they knew somehow. How
he's a roll of the dice.
That was a roll. I mean,
it really
but then
was.
Again, like anybody else who needed a linebacker also rolled the dice.
Yeah.
Because just because of injury and health issues and things like that, I get it. But if that's a thing of the past for this guy, you just scored yourself in the third round. You scored yourself a first-round linebacker.
Steal of all steals in this draft is what most people are calling this, the best steal of the draft.
I mean, I agree.
I would have taken, like, if we would have taken our 18th pick and bought back, like 7 or 8 spots, I would have been like, oh, perfect spot for Dean. Mid-20s, that's even a steal. Like, I slid all the way to the third round because of some bullshit, bogus medical report saying that his pec injury was so much worse and he needed surgery and, this, that, and the other. Combine that with the fact that, he already had that, he's undersized, he has small hands, and that's what kept teams away. And God bless him, because he fell into our lap in the third round. I quite literally almost passed out. I was so excited. I was so happy. We got it. We may not have broken that streak since 1979 of drafting a first-round linebacker, but we just got ourselves a first-round linebacker.
So I'm going to give you credit where credit's due, and this is the first and probably last time I will do this. But you have been hyping on this guy all year. You've wanted him all year. Guess what? You got your guy. Congrats. Linebacker. Might have been the first round, but who cares?
That makes it even sweeter.
Yeah.
That makes it even sweeter. I could not be happier after the first 2 days of the draft. And because of moving up and around, the Eagles actually only ended up drafting 5 total players. We had, at one point, I'm pretty sure we had like 11 draft picks. And somehow we only ended up with 5 picks. So after Nakobe Dean, we didn't have one in the 4th round. Well, we did have one in the 5th, but eventually traded that back. So the next picks we ended up having are in the 6th round. Pick, I think, 181 and 198.
Yep.
Taking another linebacker. What? Kyron Johnson from Kansas. Absolutely. I did like this guy. Probably in like the 4th round, to be honest. So again, I think he kind of slipped there a bit as well. Had a pretty productive career at Kansas. And then the next pick at 198, we take a tight end from SMU, Grant Calcaterra, who played with Jalen Hurts at when they were at Oklahoma, because Calcaterra was at Oklahoma first. So again, he gets he gets picked and calls up his buddy Jalen Hurts and says, "What's up? Hello."
More and more reasons why
Football.
Jalen Hurts is like hooked up this season. I mean, even though Calcaterra probably won't see much field time, it's still one of those things where when he does, you still have that rapport with the quarterback. You still have that familiarity. So, I mean, it's great. The only thing with Calcaterra that I was like instantly reading, it's funny. Like, I went to a wedding on Friday, and on Saturday, me and a bunch of my friends were talking about like the picks, and it's like, all right, who are the Eagles going to pick, and how are we going to trash this guy in about 15 to 20 seconds? So look up everything negative about every player, and the one thing with Calcaterra is he's had like concussion issues in the past, so hopefully, God willing, that's done, because that's very serious.
Sure.
And we would hope that he doesn't have any more concussion, head injuries, anything like that. But it is one of those good picks. I really do like Kyron Johnson a lot.
Yes.
He's another speedster. The guy ran a 4.4. Like, that's like wide receiver speed.
Yeah.
And he's a linebacker.
Right.
I mean, maybe, I don't know how you would feel about this, but maybe some speed leading to a little bit of transition to a safety, maybe.
I don't see it.
I mean, there's people that say that Nakobe Dean could even be one of those guys.
1,000% now.
Yeah, where he's like a hot. I've heard it. Trust me, I've heard it.
Oh, I'm sure you have, but those people who are saying that are morons.
It's not like moronic to think that, because there are plenty of examples in which linebackers have moved to safety.
You're right.
And done well.
You're right.
I know.
You're right. But not with Nakobe Dean. I will tell you that 1,000%.
Well, that's why I said it was 100%. Johnson.
I agree with you. Yes, if I had to pick one, it would be Kyron Johnson. But again,
we want Dean to bulk up and be our freaking linebacker.
You're right. But I don't see it with Kyron Johnson either.
I can't with speed like that. I can.
I don't think it's happening at all. Sorry. I listen.
If I said, Reis, this is happening, then I agree with what you're saying. But I gave it the shake. I gave it. And you're nah. Hey, it's possible. All right, Debbie Downer.
Well, I want to address those Dean people that were talking about Dean. I want names. I want receipts.
I'm not giving names. No names.
Well, guess what?
I'm not doing that.
You got to go. I think I know now. I think I know who it is.
You can check. We'll talk after, and I'll give you a head shake.
I know exactly who it is.
Anyway.
Like you're wrong, sir. You're wrong.
Overall, great draft. Great to get two linebackers. I wanted somebody on the offensive line. I got poo-pooed on that by a couple of people named Ryan and Eric at one point for early round offensive line help. But that's okay. We did it anyway, and I'm happy.
No.
Yes.
Your memory is wrong again.
You were saying third, fourth, fifth round. Go for the.
No one poo-pooed it. No one said it was not going to happen. We all agreed that it was a pick that needed to happen. Yes, and if there was somebody that they felt comfortable enough to select that early, then yes. But I personally didn't think they were going to do it. That's the only thing that I said, is I don't think they would do it that early. They did. Great. And they got their guy. Hell, Kelsey got his guy. The man literally handpicked the guy and said, he's my favorite prospect of the last 3 years. He's the one that's most like me.
Yeah. He's short like him, too. Well,
yeah, and he can get to that second level like him, too.
It's so funny because, like, he's said it to be undersized at 6'3", 300 pounds.
I know, right?
Like, only in the NFL is that undersized.
I know, right? Like, all right, you know what? I'm at least 6'3". Let me quick gain 100 pounds, and then I can
and some God-given athletic ability.
Ooh, that hurts. I do have a little bit of that.
Yeah, for cornhole.
I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I'm your teammate. So.
I know. We freaking dominate, baby. Anyway, all that does is just make me want to tailgate, like right now. Right now. Why don't you come over? We'll just start tailgating.
I'm on my way when the show's over, sir.
Let's go.
Get the lights on in the backyard. Get the bug spray.
I
literally
just got new lights that I got ordered to give it a little bit more in the yard.
Oh, you look like you're pumping up volume. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought they killed it. I thought they got an easy A. I thought they had one of the better drafts in the NFL. The Ravens obviously had a good draft. The Giants had a good draft. The Jets had a good draft.
Your overall grade is?
I got to give it a solid A.
Solid A.
Yeah.
I'll go.
I don't know if you could technically count the A.J. Brown as a part of like the draft.
It has to be because you use draft picks.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. But the fact of the matter is, you only came out of this draft with 5 players.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that a draft pick is using your pick to gain a player for your team, then technically it's a draft pick because we use draft picks to gain a player towards our team. I'm just saying, if we're being technical about all of this.
You're funny. Either way, it's still an A for me. I thought they did fantastic. And I was pleasantly surprised coming out of this draft how well Howie did. And to be honest, Howie did great last year too. So to be honest, he had a good draft last year. Did he not?
Oh, not as good as this year, but yeah.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying Howie's had 2 good drafts in a row now. Where I don't think many people could be like, oh man, fire Howie. He sucks. I think he's done a decent job the last 2 years. So, I hope all the Howie hate and all that bullshit goes away. He's not going anywhere. So you might as well live with it. You might as well say, hey, you know what? Howie pulled some things, because when you really think about it, Howie took Carson Wentz at a first-round pick, if you will, and essentially turned it into Jordan Davis, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and a pick for next year.
Yeah.
What?
True.
Well, what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
And considering that Carson Wentz is on his second team since he left us.
Right.
Hilarious. But, overall, I think the NFC East had some ups and downs besides us in the draft. I think Dallas kind of reached on a couple of their picks.
Yeah, they didn't have the greatest of draft, and considering they didn't have the greatest of off seasons, I think if there was ever a question of, what team kind of has the edge heading into the season as of right now, it has to be the Eagles. Just given all of the losses from Dallas, their subpar draft, and the Eagles, additions that they've been doing in this offseason, plus their amazing draft, getting A.J. Brown and Reddick and a couple other guys bringing into the fold, I think the Eagles are clearly ahead of the Cowboys right
now. Just one thing, just real quick. Sam Howell, quarterback from UNC. Yes, quarterback. He is going to be somebody to watch. And I'll tell you that just from the fact that last year he was coming into this draft as like a top quarterback and then just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
He had not a great team at UNC.
No, they never did.
And kind of had some issues, but the raw talent is there.
Sure.
That's one guy that I will say just watch, because when he gets his chance, kid's got an arm, he can play, and I think he'll do very well. Do you got a guy that kind of fell off, went under the radar? Any team really. I mean, like somebody like a Jermaine Johnson, who I guess kind of fell a little bit, but is just talented, just flat out talented. You have
I think cornerback Andrew Booth I was shocked that he fell into the second round. I thought he was an easy day one first round prospect. And I think a lot of teams are going to regret not grabbing him, for sure. Because I liked him over. I thought he was the third corner personally, after Sauce and after Stingley.
Yeah.
So the fact that he lasted into the second round, I thought was a little shocking. I would like to talk about the Patriots draft for a second. Like, what is Belichick doing? He literally drafted a guard, Cole Strange, who was, for all intents and purposes, a third-round pick. He pulled an eagle when we drafted Danny Watkins, where everybody's like, what? Huh? I mean, don't get me wrong, Cole Strange is a good prospect, but by no means should he have been drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
Now, I could certainly, bite my words, and Bill Belichick most likely knows a lot more than I do, but it seems strange.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like value to value that he couldn't have gotten this guy in the second round.
No, I agree. Definitely a stretch, an odd pick. But again, like another one of those things that I was saying earlier with successful teams, even though it was a reach, maybe you felt like they just couldn't get him if they waited any longer.
Yeah.
And, that's where they like to build. They like to build around the trenches. And if that's their guy, I honestly don't doubt the guy. He's got rings and all these other accolades to prove that he knows what he's doing. So
yeah, that's kind of why you have to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But yeah, I was again a little shocked that they went that route. Now, granted, they did trade back, so all right, it was towards the end of the first, but still,
yeah,
just seemed a little strange.
Yes. Quite
strange.
You know what's strange?
What's that?
Why in the third quarter of the Sixers game? Come on, you gotta let me have my segues.
The second you started talking, I was like, this son of a bitch. This son of a bitch is gonna switch it over.
You know it. Why in the
God.
third quarter? When you're down 7 points with about 6 minutes left, do you completely abandon your strategy of driving the ball, giving the ball to your players that are producing, and just start chucking up threes like you're down by 9 with 2 minutes left in the fourth? It is pathetic and really laughable to see that we came back, played our butts off in that first half.
Yeah.
I mean, played our butts off and grinded back. Played fast-paced. Got the ball in the hands of got the ball into the hot hands, and tied that game up to, in turn, go into halftime leading. And then you go into the third, you make it competitive for the first half of the third quarter, you fall apart and you start chucking up threes. What is that? Can anyone explain, besides maybe Doc Rivers with some bullcrap example
right,
or excuse, why we weren't driving the ball to the lane in which we had success? Please tell me why we're chucking up threes with that much time left.
Listen, I understand that threes are certainly more of the game nowadays, but yeah, you should not go ahead and abandon things that are working well and keeping you in a game. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I was saying the same thing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And can I just say real quick, can DeAndre Jordan just never play ever again?
There's some kind of, I think DeAndre Jordan might have some pictures of Doc Rivers doing something that
he has to. Doc Rivers definitely cheated on his wife.
And DeAndre Jordan was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully not like there, but
hopefully away, but there. Maybe just in the corner. I don't know. It's not like you can.
Hopefully not that either. Hopefully not that either.
You can't even hide him in the corner, really. So.
Yeah, no. Ignore that 7-foot man in the corner.
No,
I know he has a lampshade on his head, but that is not a lamp. That is not a lamp.
But
either way,
what is going on? He must, because he is so loyal to him, and he's like, yeah. Thank you, Eric. Eric says Doc's going to start him whether we like it or not. Those are literally his words.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
I don't like it.
No one likes it. No one likes it. We all want B-Ball Paul.
17 minutes of play. I think his over-under, his plus-minus is like a minus 13.
72.
On the floor. He's giving no offensive rebound help. I mean, they crushed us. If you're looking at offensive rebounds last night, they dominated their board. We couldn't get anything on our board. He's not defensive. He's not picking himself up defensively. He's not contributing offensively very much, if anything. I mean, you're right. B-Ball Paul, he needs to play. I don't know. Maybe Doc Rivers maybe B-Ball Paul is the one that cheated on Doc Rivers' wife or cheated with Doc Rivers' wife, and then DeAndre Jordan found out, and then it's this big circle. I don't know. I don't get it. Because, like, the production is there. The numbers are there. You just have to look. I mean, B-Ball Paul had, like, a plus-minus of -1, something like that.
I'll take that all day.
I'll take that all day, especially because you're not Joel Embiid. Nobody's out there to be Joel Embiid except for DeAndre Jordan trying to say to Doc Rivers, I can be Joel Embiid circa 8 years ago. It's incredible what is happening. I mean, it's very frustrating. I'm sorry. I'm losing light in here too. Like it's really dark. It's gotten very dark.
I was gonna say something, and I'm like, what is going on? Is there an eclipse happening in Phoenixville that I am unaware of? Because things are looking real bad for Ryan in there.
Just give me a quick timeout. I will be right back. Sorry, I just got to turn the light on.
Okay. Go turn your light on. Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, I don't know if you needed to do all of that, but this makes for a great freaking video. Thanks, Ryan. Anyway, well, actually, you know what? Ryan's doing that. I will pay some bills, if you will. Wanted to. I don't know what that feedback is.
There we go.
Yeah, what's that? Okay, well, now the feedback's gone. I did want to say a special shout out to Six Coverage, who we have officially joined here at the Philly Sports Alliance. So all of our shows, Football Smack Talk Show, Football Smack Talk Show, the Philly BroCast. Are you hearing that reverb back? I feel like it's on your side.
I am not hearing any reverb.
Okay. Anyway. The Bald Eagle podcast, the Diamond Club podcast, the TLC podcast, Mike Sports. We're all joining Six Pack Coverage, based in Tennessee. They're a national outlet, producing sports content, podcasts. Please make sure you go and visit them at sixpackcoverage.com. Not only to see some of our shows, see our brothers over at CEV Sports. They've joined as well, so we're combined for a nice Philly takeover. They do sports, they do lifestyle, they do fitness, food, travel, finance, you name it. They pretty much have something for everybody there. So please check them out, sixpackcoverage.com. Also, speaking of great content, we would love to welcome everybody in from the Painted Lines channel. Thank you, everybody from the Painted Lines. Just great people. We're streaming to their YouTube. They're streaming to our Facebook. And we've gotten to know a few of their fans over the last couple of weeks of shows. they'll pop in, comment, so we're glad to have them as well, because again, they're obviously great Philadelphia fans that follow the Painted Lines. So we're thrilled that they're watching some of our content. So if you have not heard, please go on over to thepaintedlines.com for insane breakdowns on not only the draft, they did so much stuff for the draft, like bar none, some of the best stuff I've seen. And I was lucky to be a part of just even a small part of it. But yeah, they do post game reactions. So after every Sixers game, after every Eagles game, Phillies, like you name it, they're there doing stuff. So shout out to the Painted Lines. And then last but not least, I definitely want to give a humongous shout out to the official sponsor of the Philly Sports Alliance, and that is La Terrain Watches. Head on over to la-terrain.com. Use code PSA for site-wide discounts. I just copped another watch, so I'm up 2-0 on you there, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, you got to get on that. So I have the Atlas in Midnight, and I just got another watch there in black. I can't say enough. The watches look amazing. They look like beyond your luxury watches, and they're really cost efficient. So they're made high quality with high quality stuff, high quality bands. I've had zero issues, and I get complimented all the time. So you can too. Use code PSA for site-wide discounts. I also got a pair of sunglasses too. I'm usually not a sunglasses guy, but I'm not gonna lie, I look good.
Well, we'll see. You usually do look terrible in sunglasses. Anyway, is there a possible second sponsor, Ryan Reis? Do you?
Well, okay.
Do you want to put this out? Do you want to put this out or no?
No, I will gladly. So if anybody's been watching our show lately, I know unfortunately I don't have any tonight because I drank them all. But I have been drinking CIL iced tea, spiked iced tea on air for the last God knows how many shows. And that includes all of my shows. I am in love with this drink. Like I would drink it for breakfast. I would freeze it.
Yeah, you would.
I would put it on my feet, skate around in it, and then melt it, and then drink it again. I would. Sorry.
I wish you got that line right.
I know I didn't get it right, but still, you know what I was doing. Anyway, so I just thought randomly, I have a nice picture of us doing our show, me chugging on a CIL spiked iced tea. And I took a picture of it, tagged them on Instagram, and sure enough, they posted it to their story. And I was just like, hey, listen, let's do up a sponsorship. Or at least give me the details on when the deliveries are happening in my area. That's all I really want to know. I just want to know when it's going to be there, because anytime I'm near, I stop in and be like, hey, you got any iced tea? No, sorry, bro. So, like, if I could get even, like, a heads up, like, hey, listen, Friday at 10 a.m., we're going to be delivering to this location, I will literally take off at work and I will camp out if I have to. And I'll buy a keg. I'll buy a couple cases. I'll buy a pallet. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
No. So I'm on the hunt to get more CI iced tea as much as possible. So hopefully this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Hopefully.
With the guys over at CIL spiked iced tea. But anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate you letting me have my little iced tea spotlight.
I was really happy. I was really proud that.
And I'm thirsty for one.
Got that working.
Yeah, it goes.
Still not a sponsor, but
no. But hey, listen, we're the type of people that I will plug anybody or anything that I thoroughly enjoy. So if I didn't enjoy it, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't plug it. Yes. Honestly, and that goes for a lot of terrain too. I normally am not a big watch guy, but I got a couple of watches from them, and I got to tell you, I'm a watch guy now. I have a friggin' humongous little watch case and everything.
Just humongous little one.
A humongous little. Yeah, you know how it is.
That's good. They're hard to find. The watches and the humongous little cases.
Yeah. So yeah. Again, I would not be as excited and ecstatic about stuff like that if I didn't absolutely love it, and hence why we sit here and talk Philly sports, because this is what we love doing. So
absolutely.
But
back to the Sixers. Come on.
Honestly, I gotta admit, with the whole Joel Embiid thing, with for the Eagles draft that just happened, I feel myself being pushed in the Eagles direction right now over the Sixers. I was all pretty Sixered up until the draft, but once the draft hit, I felt like there was a swing. And the Joel Embiid news certainly isn't helping. I'm not saying I'm like out on them or anything like that. Like, let's not go crazy. It's just I am a slight less than enthusiastic than I was a week ago. Let's just say.
Don't get it. I don't understand how that could be possible. Sixers are in the midst of a run.
You're right, but I'm always going to be Eagles first.
Of course, I am too. But the Sixers are now. They are playing now. That means that they are literally in the midst of a playoff series, which could get them to the next, which could get them to the champion. Like, I don't understand why you might be more Eagles right now, because literally the Sixers are playing right now. Like, there's no question who you should be more in tune with. I mean, it should be the Sixers. Regardless, I just want to say that I'm happy that Tobias is playing well.
Hell yeah.
I'm happy that Maxey has just continued his tear of being
grown up right in front of our eyes.
It's incredible to watch.
Agreed.
Again, looking for more from James Harden. I mean, overall in the playoffs, he's averaging 18.6, which isn't terrible, but it's not James Harden.
It's not good enough.
I mean, averaging the 10 assists-ish that we're kind of looking for. But, again, we're looking for like 15, so get on that. He's driving to literally get fouled, and that's what's becoming an issue because he's not finishing. So I'm looking for him to step up. I mean, I'm looking for Niang to never shoot a shot ever again. I'm pretty sure at one point he put up a shot as I think it was, I guess, Kate Scott or whoever was doing the announcing just said, he's 0 for 6 right now. Make that 0 for 7. And that means stop shooting. It's just, it was ridiculous because it literally looked like Doc Rivers was planning his game plan around moving the ball and then having just George Niang shoot the ball. I mean, overall, yes, he's a good shooter. He can do well, but to be honest, that's not the time to be just forcing threes. And I mean, this is between that halfway through the third quarter mark where we're down by 7, 8 until, the midway through the fourth quarter where, if he hits it or if Danny Green hits it or if something happens, maybe the momentum changes. But I think you could have kept that game close if you continued to do what got you to that point. And, I mean, without Joel Embiid, they made it a game in the first, however many minutes, first half and first half of the third quarter, really making it a game. So one of the things that I'm looking for is Tobias continue his streak. I guess I shouldn't call it a streak, but continue the consistency. And, somebody like Danny Green can get hot. He'll hit some threes. You can get closer in the game through that. You have Maxey, who's going to be consistently putting up like that 22, 23. He's averaging 21 right now. And then if you can win this next game in Miami and then come home 1-1 and possibly get Joel Embiid back, that is huge. Because if we can get him back, I mean, of course, he'll probably be wearing a mask of some sort or protection, if you will. I mean, that's going to be huge because obviously it blocks or inhibits vision and stuff like that. But really getting him back into that game, being physical, being around the rim, huge deterrent for them to, try and do a lot of the stuff that they were doing. And I don't know if Tyler Hero is going to hit shots the way he was hitting them last night. Every game, he's very talented. He just won Sixth Man of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
But it's one of those things where Miami looks pretty good, but did they look like a team that should crush the Sixers? No,
not at all. No, that's the thing I think that was disappointing is the fact that last night was probably the night you could have stolen one.
Yeah,
and they just didn't. Eric chimes in. The bench needs to be better. And what is a rebound? They killed us on the boards.
Crushed
us. Comes back to your DeAndre Jordan comment. Especially on the offensive glass. It's awesome.
Crushed us. I mean, they literally were just hungrier because you saw, like Eric's saying, how they can kill us on the rebounds. But it's them getting offensive rebounds that really bothers me. Because that's our opportunity to take their miss. I mean, it's simple, but it takes the miss and turns into an opportunity for our, plus whatever.
Right.
So that it's kind of basic for the box out thing. I mean, just box out. You get down there, you plant yourself, you get in front of somebody, and you put your butt in their way so they can't get over you or around you.
Fundamentals.
Yes, and that's one thing that the Sixers kind of lacked last night was fundamentals.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, they have another shot tomorrow night, right? Is game 2. And yeah, like you said, hopefully Embiid is ready when the series switches home to Philly and is able to come out there with his little Phantom of the Opera mask. And I mean, again, it's you're not going to expect full Embiid that first game, but you just need enough to get that win, especially if you're down 0-2. Obviously you need to win the next 2 easily.
Huge.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. So by the time we are back on air next Tuesday, I hope that there is still a series to talk about, honestly, because
by next Tuesday, we're hoping that
so Wednesday will be
tied. Or
hopefully we're on air. It'll be tied.
Yeah,
and not over.
That would be huge.
Yeah. So, we're I think also this weekend is rookie mini camp for the Eagles. So we'll talk a little bit about that, seeing some of these rookies out there for the first time, which is fantastic. And then the NFL schedule. That's the next big
announcement. Big announcement.
No.
Fun fact: A.J. Brown threw out the opening pitch tonight.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's fantastic. I bet you he got an insane ovation.
Oh, I'm sure. I think the Phillies are tied 3-3 right now. I don't think anything's changed.
Okay. Unfortunately, by the time we're on air next week, the schedule won't have come out just yet. I think it's the 12th that comes out. So
okay.
We'll be a little short on that. But once that comes out, can't wait to start discussing the away game to go to this year. And, of course, all the fun Eagles ticket tailgating parties that we're going to be planning. So,
just a quick thing. Flyers fired their head coach, so we'll be...
Is that official?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, he's not returning to... I forget how it was worded, to...
his current position,
retain head coach responsibilities or something like that.
So basically, that means they're going to do the old Flyers thing where they don't actually fire him, but he's no longer the head coach, but he'll be in some form in the front offices.
Sure, whatever.
So dumb. Just fire the guy and get rid of him. Like, ugh.
So I know that there's going to be a press conference tomorrow, I believe, to talk about that and the season and just kind of, where we're headed. So I'm excited for that. We'll talk about that next week. And then the Phillies, hopefully, things can just, I guess, continue to be at level.
Yes.
They're, I think, one game below 500 right now.
Yes.
And facing a team that's Texas, they're not great, but they're not terrible. So
hopefully they can come out with a series win.
It's unfortunate because the Phillies haven't had the upper hand in any series except for the last Colorado one, which they swept, which is great. Fantastic. I mean, that made up some ground, but then again, like, you're playing the Mets again coming up.
Yeah, you're going to be playing
divisional. Like, how does the schedule come out? We play the Mets like 3 times already.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we won't play like Atlanta for a while. There's like a 2-month stretch where we don't even play Atlanta.
I just don't understand why we have to play the Mets 3 times within the first 40 games or whatever. It makes absolutely no sense. And then you don't play Atlanta until May 23rd. So they end towards the end of the month. And then guess who's after Atlanta? Just take a wild guess. The Mets. Yeah.
So speaking of May 20-something, I also, before we head on out of here, wanted to mention that we here at the Philly Sports Alliance, myself, Ryan, and Eric, will be heading out on May 21st from noon until 3 at Lenny and Susie's Sports Memorabilia in Pittman, New Jersey on 6th 2nd Avenue. We'll be doing a live show podcast from outside. There'll be prizes and giveaways, and we'll be talking Philly sports and whatever anybody wants to talk about. So a special shout out to obviously Lenny. He's an old friend of ours, so we've been going to for a few years now to his sports memorabilia shop. And also a huge shout out to Seamus, who is the admin group owner of the Philadelphia Underdogs Facebook group, who essentially kind of organized all of this. So there'll be free T-shirt giveaways for the Philadelphia Underdogs Facebook group. There will be a signed Wilbert Montgomery Eagles jersey giveaway. We'll be giving out some things as well. And then, of course, just the wonderful stuff inside Lenny and Susie's shop there. So come on out May 21st from noon until 3. Where we will be broadcasting live, talking Philly sports, right outside of Lenny and Susie's Sports Memorabilia in Pittman, New Jersey. So check us out there. Rye, I know you were originally from around there, so you'll probably be walking around and be like, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you.
It's a good possibility. I went to high school right outside of Pittman, so yeah.
There you go. So yeah, check us out May 21st starting at noon. And don't forget, lots of prizes and giveaways. So, well, that's it for us tonight. We are, we're going to head on out of here. But obviously, before we go, Ryan, I know you have your little trivia. See if you can stump me again. I think last week I didn't. But the week before I nailed it?
No, last week I think you got it, and then the week before
I'm like 55 days.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So the great Reggie White, he wore this number.
Number 91. All right, next. Boom! Boom! Get out of here with that weak stuff! You can't see me!
Okay. All right. So in his rookie year in 1985, Reggie White wore 91, and then subsequently switched to his famous 92.
Yep. Gotta come harder than that, there, young Fineran.
Listen, it's the beginning of our comeback to the show. I gotta ease the fans in. I gotta ease you in. Don't worry.
Woo!
I'll bring the heat. Yeah.
Love it.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, we're going to head on out of here now that I just can embarrass myself. Although That was impressive. Not many people do know that. Like, I feel like they do, but like, I feel like maybe not the casual fan. I don't know.
I mean, you just have to think. You know the name Reggie White. You know he was on the Eagles. You know he was on the Packers. Famous, best ever, or
Carolina.
one of the best ever. So, yeah, I would say that not many casual fans do know that. So,
yeah, no, agreed. All right, well, we will see you guys next week. Another Tuesday night edition of the show. Make sure you check out all of the remaining shows on the Philly Sports Alliance. Our good buddy who we talked to earlier today, Sean, a.k.a. the Bald Eagle. His show is coming back tomorrow night. I believe 8 o'clock start. No, 7 o'clock start time. I'll figure it out and post it out. But yeah, please make sure you check out. But the best way to do that is to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the other places. But especially on Facebook, you put your little notifications on when we go live, and you'll immediately get a message saying Philly Sports Alliance has gone live. And boom, you'll be right in there with the Bald Eagle himself. He'll break down all of the draft. And honestly, if you really are looking, even if you want to look at like last year and some of the, the games, hey, I really wanted to look into the second Cowboys game or whatever it was. Check out the Bald Eagle podcast. I'm dead serious. Check it out wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever. Check him out. He literally breaks down game by game, play by play, the review of the game, and tells you from somebody who played the game, because he did play the game semi-professionally, but still a lot better than those who certainly haven't. But he'll tell you exactly what happened, why it happened, what went wrong, what went right. It's an absolute amazing podcast for him, especially after an Eagles game. So highly recommend it. His return is tomorrow night, so I cannot wait for that. So check that out, and check out all the other shows on the Philly Sports Alliance. Again, you can check us out on sixpackcoverage.com. You can check us out on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. And then, of course, everywhere where social media happens. Like, follow, subscribe, rate, whatever, review. And then anywhere where your podcasts are available. So that's it for us. Thanks so much. Don't forget, we will be back here next week on Tuesday for the Philly BroCast. So for the Philly BroCast, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. Peace out, bro.
Later, brah. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.